This is the story of a black slave who beat all of us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this story reminds us that are we close to Him or not, and this also reminds us that not to look down upon anybody, not to judge anybody because of his wealth, because of his clothes, because of his color and insignificant status in the sight of Allah, in the sight of people. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he recorded this story in his book Al-Muntazam fi Tarikh al-Mulki wal-Umam. And this story which happened between Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah and a black slave. And who is Abdullah bin Mubarak? Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah was one of the greatest tabi'een, one of the greatest scholars from among the muhaddithin, and he was from among the muhaddithin ever lived. And you will find his name in the chain of narration in Bukhari and many authentic hadith. Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he says that once he went to Makkah and people gathered in Masjid Al Haram to offer Salatul Istisqa, seeking rain from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they were afflicted with a drought. So they wanted to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for rain. They were all praying, they were all making dua. But there was no response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there was a black slave who was standing beside Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, and he heard this black slave making dua, saying that, oh Allah, verily people are making dua to you. Verily we are all afflicted with drought here. Please send us rain. Please send rain upon us. The moment he made dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent rain. Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he was astonished by looking at this black slave. Because of his dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent rain in Makkah. After the Salatul Istisqa, after dua, the people dispersed. This black slave went back to his house, and Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he followed him until he entered upon his house, and Abdullah bin Mubarak noticed this house and he remembered this house. He went back to his house. When he went back, there was another scholar, Fudail ibn Iyad rahimahullah. He asked, Ya Abdullah, why are you depressed? Then Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he narrates this entire story to him. Fudail ibn Iyad said, woe to you, Ya Abdullah, go and bring him to me. Take us to him or bring him to me. So Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he went back to him in the morning, taking some dinar in order to purchase him. So when he knocked the door, a man came out. Abdullah bin Mubarak said, I want to purchase a slave from you. The man said, I have 10 to 12 slaves. Which slave do you want? And he brought one by one. Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he started rejecting all of them, and he described about this particular black slave. And the owner of the slave, he said that, why do you want to buy this man? Because he will not be of any use to you, because he is very weak. He is sick. He will not be of any use. But Abdullah bin Mubarak insisted the man, and he wanted to buy this black slave from him. And he gave some dinar and he bought this black slave. On the way back to his house, the slave asked Abdullah bin Mubarak, O master, Abdullah bin Mubarak replied, I am at your service. Then the black slave said, you're not supposed to say I am at your service, because I am the slave to you and you are my master. But Abdullah bin Mubarak said, no, I will be at your service. I want to take care of you, and I want to wed you off, and I want to take care of all the affairs of you. This man, the slave, he was astonished. And he said, why are you doing this to me? What did you say in me? Then Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he said that, I saw you making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Masjid Al Haram, and Allah sent rain upon us. That is why I want to serve you. Both Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah and the slave, they were walking back to their house, and the slave said that, Ya master, oh master, I want to pray few raka'at, few salah, which I left out yesterday. So Abdullah bin Mubarak said, my house is very near, why don't we go there and pray? He said, no, verily, what has to be done? And we are not supposed to leave anything that are supposed to do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I don't want to delay anything that which comes between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he insisted to offer salah, and Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah allowed him to offer salah. In the salah, while offering salah, the slave asked, "Yeah, O master, what do you want from me?" He said, "Why are you asking me?" Because the slaves, he said that I am on a journey to the hereafter. Then Abdullah bin Mubarak said that, make dua that I should accompany you. Then the slave made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying that, Ya Allah, the interaction between me and you was unknown. Now people came to know, and many more will come to know about this. And I don't want to become famous. So he made dua, and he fell on sujood, on his forehead, and he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, Ya Allah, take me away from here. Take me away from here. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took his soul when this black slave was in the sujood. When Abdullah bin Mubarak saw him, he was dead. And this is the dua of a black slave, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered. He was the wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and people gathered around him and offered salah. There are many stories like this. There are many stories like this. And this particular story reminds us how important it is for us to connect ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it also reminds us that, and there are people amongst us who looks obscure and normal, but they beat all of us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, he says, whenever he remembers this black slave, he goes into depression. Depression means he becomes sad, because he beat all of us to Jannah, he beat all of us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also this reminds him that how insignificant this world is. This life is very short. Let's get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pleasing him always, and let's be the one who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone for the purpose that he sent us to this dunya. Ameen.